Today we're going to be dealing with lesson 24 about working with masters. There are three types of masters that we'll be working with. They are slide masters, handout masters, and notes masters. In this lesson we're going to talk about accessing the slide master, showing you how to change some of the settings on that slide master, dealing with things such as the font and color settings. We'll also show you how to change the slide size on the master page. We're also going to be adjusting font settings on the master. Once we've done that, we will close out of the master and go to our notes master. Here we're going to change the placement of some of our placeholders, specifically some of the headers and footers. To open the files for lesson 24, we're going to have to navigate in our book to a specific page number. The page number is a little different. The page number is actually P-6. So please navigate with me to page P-6. Now on this page you will see an icon that says PDF, but in reality it is a PowerPoint file. It's a mistake that was made in the book. So please click on that PDF link and open that file. Once the file has been opened, you will want to save it to your Documents folder. Specifically in a folder that has today's date on it. If you do not have a folder with today's date, please click the New Folder button and create the folder with today's date on it. In this lesson, we're going to talk about masters. Let me take a moment to explain what a master does. A master gives us the ability to make changes not just to a single slide, but many, if not all, of the slides within a presentation. So, if I wanted to change the color of the title for each of these slides, I could do that instead of going to each slide and making the change of the color or using the format painter to copy it from one to the other. I can go to the slide master, make the change on that slide master, and instantly the color would be changed on every single one of these slides. Also, let's say I wanted to put a picture. Let's say I wanted to use the RBMA logo and place it at the bottom of the slide. I could do that by going into my slide master, putting the logo where I want it to go, and then that logo will appear on every slide. I do not have to go to each slide individually and place the graphic. Let's demonstrate its use. By going to slide number 1, we're going to go to our slide master. The way we get to our slide master is through the View tab, View, Slide Master. You will notice that there are three types of masters: the Slide Master, the Handout Master, and the Notes Master. For now, we're focusing on the Slide Master, so that's where we're going to go. The first change we're going to make to the Slide Master is I wish to change the slide's size. So I'm going to click where it says Slide Size, and I'm going to choose the standard size instead of the widescreen size. We will choose the maximize option, and that will change all of our slide sizes. Now let me take a moment to talk about what you're seeing on the left-hand side of the screen here. On the left-hand side of the screen, you will see that there is one slide master. This is slide master number 1. And if you scroll down, there is no 2. What these smaller items are, is they are slide layouts. So for example, if I go to the second option here, if I hover my mouse over it, will say Title Slide Layout. This particular option will let me make changes to any title slides in my presentation. Now, in this particular presentation, there's only one title slide. Let's go to the second one here. The second layout is the title and content slide. This slide is in use by slides 2 and 3, as you can see from the pop-up that appears. If I wish to make a change, say I wanted to change the color of the heading just on those two slides, I could do it right here, and the effect would apply to both slides 2 and 3 because they're based on the title and content slide. Alright, let's make some changes to the entire presentation. Going back up to the Slide Master, I wish to change the color scheme that's going to be used by the entire presentation. So here I am on the Slide Master ribbon tab. Notice the new tab that has been created when we went to View and Slide Master. We're going to go to the Colors button on that Slide Master group. And the color that we're going to choose is called Marquee, M-A-R-Q-U-E-E. It is third from the bottom on the list of colors. You will notice that that changes all the colors on the masters, and when we go back to the slide view in just a moment, you will see that their colors have also changed. We're also going to change the font. If you'll notice the current font that's in use, it's called Century Schoolbook. Okay. We're going to change the font sets that are used throughout the entire presentation. We're going to change those font sets using the Fonts button on the Slide Master ribbon tab. So on the Slide Master ribbon tab, we're going to go to the Fonts drop-down, and we're going to use this font group called Corbel. The Corbel font group is going to apply the Corbel font to both the headings and the Corbel font to the content areas as well. To see that, I go to the Home tab. I'll see that it's using a Corbel font here. I'm also using a Corbel font here. Let's go back to the Slide Master tab and let's take a look at our slideshow. I'm going to close out of the master view, go back to my main slides again. You will notice that all the slides are now smaller because they are using that standard size. You will also notice the blue color going throughout. The color scheme has changed. And if you look at any of the fonts, you will see that they have also all been altered to this Corbel font. Let's go back to slide 1, which is our title slide, and we're going to make some changes to the title slide, but we're going to do it not to this one slide, but to all title slides. So we make that change on the Slide Master. I go to View, Slide Master, brings me to my Slide Master, which I know because I see the Slide Master ribbon tab. I am on the title slide layout. I want to change the positioning of the text. So here I am on the title slide layout. I'm going to go to the Home tab. I want to center this text, and I'm going to choose the Align Text to move this to the middle of the slide instead of the bottom, which is where it was, or the top, which would be the other option. I'm going to change this to middle. The other change I want to make is to the subtitle text. So I'm going to click down here where the subtitle text is, and I'm going to move that to the right side. I'm going to move that to the right side by clicking on the Align Right. Let's see our changes. I'm going to click on Slide Master, click on the Close Master View, I can now see that the whole grains bread is centered within the box. Fresh to you each day has now been moved to the right. If I wanted to just change this one slide, I could have done it here and not on the master, but I'm going to add another title slide. I'm going to add that title slide to the end of my presentation. So please click with me on slide 5. I'm going to add my title slide by going to the New Slide button and choosing the Title Slide option. As you can see, the new title slide has the same look that we were talking about before. Let's type in for the title, the end. And for the subtitle, I'd like you to type by and then put your name in there. So I've added a new title slide. That new title slide will be at the end, and it will be labeled as we have discussed. Now, I want to take a look at some of the slides that are in the middle here. Notice that the bullets appear as blue circles for slide 2, slide 3, and slide 4. I wish to change the bullets to a hollow square, and I wish them to be a different color. While I could do it on each individual slide, and even use the format painter to copy the look from slide to slide, the faster way to make this happen would be to modify the slide master. Going to my View tab, I click on Slide Master. Now, notice that this is the title and content slide. If I change the bullet here, it's only going to affect slides 2 and 3. It's not going to change the bullet on slide 4, because slide 4 is not a title and content slide. To make the change on all the slides that have bullets, I'm going to go up to the actual slide master, which is the one that's labeled with the number, in this case number 1. I'm going to select the first bulleted item, and I wish to modify the bullet. I modify the bullet the way I normally would do. I'm going to go to the Home tab, click the drop down on the bullet button. Now, if I just wanted to change to the square bullet, I would click here. But since I also want to change the color of that, I'm going to go straight to Bullets and Numbering. That will let me pick the hollow square bullet. Will also allow me to change the color. Changing the color from its current color, we're going to pick the red on the top row. Specifically, it's called Red Accent 6. And we're going to change the size. Instead of 80%, we're going to make it 90% of the text size. I click OK. I see the change in my slide master. And now I wish to see if the change has been made to all of my slides. I click the Slide Master ribbon. I close out of my master view, which takes me back to my regular presentation. Slide 1 did not have any bullets. Slide 2 did, and they've been changed. Slide 3 also has been changed. But also, Slide 4 has been changed. Slide 4 actually is a to-content slide, but the bullets have been changed because we modified the slide master. The last change we're going to make is I do wish to place a picture on our slides. So to do that, we're going to go to the View tab. Go to our Slide Master. I wish the picture to appear on all slides, so I'm going to make the change on the slide master. Now I'm going to insert my picture. I'm going to click Insert, Picture. I'm going to navigate to my desktop, Class Files, IIT, and there you should see the RBMA logo. We're going to use that logo on our slides. I'm going to change the size and the position of my logo. So I'm going to right-click the logo, choose Format Picture. On the Size and Properties portion of the Format Picture box, I'm going to change the size to 1 inch high. I'm going to type 1. And I want to make the width 1 inch as well. Now if I type in the 1 here, my height becomes a little bit larger. How do I change one and allow them both to be changed? Well, I need to unlock the aspect ratio. I'm going to uncheck this. Now it's going to allow me to type 1 for both items. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the position of the picture. So I'm going to open up the position portion. The position that we wish to use is going to be 0.5 horizontally. The position is 0.5 horizontally and 6.5 vertically. The position of 0.5 horizontal, 6.5 vertical. That's going to put it in the lower left corner, but not all the way in the left corner. The reason why it's not going all the way in the left corner is you will notice that on most of these slides there's a gray strip that comes down the left-hand side. I do not want this picture to be hidden, or I do not want the picture to be hidden by that gray bar. Let's see if this has accomplished our goal. I am going to go to Slide Master. I am going to close the master view, bringing me back to my slideshow. On slide 1, I see my picture in the bottom left corner. And as I go from one slide to the next, I see the picture appearing in the bottom left corner of each of those slides. I'm going to close out of this format background, title bar, taskbar, as I no longer need that. We've dealt with the slide master. The other master that we're going to talk about is the notes master. If you will, please go to the View tab. In an earlier lesson, we had taken a look at the notes page. Clicking on the notes page view for a moment, what that does is that displays a small picture of a slide and then the speaker notes that you may have typed for that particular page. Now, if I wish to change the way this notes page is laid out, I need to do that through my notes master. So, we're going to change our view from the notes page to the notes master. I want to make a couple changes. The notes master will display the miniature of the slide, the area of the speaker notes. Notice that it also has a placeholder for my header, footer, date, and slide number, or actually that would be the notes page number. Here's what I want to do. I want the header, if a header is used, to be centered at the top of the page. So I'm going to move this date holder down a little bit. I'm going to click on the header placeholder. Click on the header placeholder. I'm going to point to the right side of the header placeholder, the middle handle, and I'm going to drag that all the way to the other side of the page. So now the header box, the placeholder, extends all the way across the page. I want to now center the text on that, in that box. So I'm going to go to Home. I'm going to click the Center button, and that will center the text. If a header is used on this page, I want it to be larger, so I'm going to increase the size from 12 to 20. That will take care of the header portion. Next, I wish the date, if the date is going to be used, I want it to be centered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this date holder, and I'm going to use my up arrow key, and I've pressed the up arrow key several times until the top edge of that date box lines up with the bottom edge of the header. Once those two lines match, I'm going to resize the left edge of the date placeholder. I'm going to move my mouse to the left edge of the date placeholder, find the center square, and I'm going to drag that all the way to the left so that it expands across the entire page. And like we did for the header, I'm going to center the date. Those are the two changes we're going to make. Let's get out of the Notes Master. I'm going to click on Notes Master. I'm going to close out of my Notes Master. That takes me back to my actual slideshow. Now, because there is no header and there is no date that's been activated, I cannot see if my change has taken place. So let's add a header and the date. I go to my Insert tab. I click the header and footer. I am going to activate the header, and we're going to type in whole grains bread. Also, I'm going to activate the date, and I'm going to choose the date that includes the day of the week as well as the date. I apply this to all. I can now see the changes that I made to my Notes Master because the title is appearing at the top. The date is appearing right below it, both centered. Let's go back to our standard slide view. I'm going to click View, Normal. Takes me back to my normal slide view. This concludes the particular lesson dealing with masters. If you will, please save your work. If you haven't already saved this to your folder with today's date, please do so that this can be uploaded to Schoology and you can get credit for today's activity. In this lesson, we talked about masters. Specifically, we opened up the Slide Master and showed you how you could make changes to the entire slideshow using that Slide Master. Some of the changes that we made were, we made changes to the color and font settings. We changed the slide size. We also adjusted the font settings, specifically the bullets in our Slide Master. Once we got done making those changes, we made some modifications to our Notes Master. Specifically, we dealt with we changed the placement of some of those placeholders. The header placeholder and the date placeholder were the two options that we changed. I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about how you can use masters to make changes to your entire presentation.